We want all eyes, all attention. I can see you starting to get quiet. That's good.
Here we go.
Okay, here we
Ready?
go.
Get ready. Excellent. Excellent. If only Mark would hurry up and start.
Katie, is there a camera?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, but.
Hey everybody!
Hey,
20 years ago today, Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play. By the way, that was 1967. That would mean it would be 1987. Who's alive in 1987 in this room? Word. And who was waiting just to drop it today? Because 20 years ago today was Mums. Who's got the math brain in the room? Who's got the math brain?
I got
It was her
60th!
birthday. Yes! And as the airplane was coming in from Logan down to Shannon, Ireland, we walked right up to the customs man. Look at, he looked a bit like Nick.
Yes.
And he had a sort of a real gruff. He had a real gruff look. Now give your best Irish accent and say, "What's the purpose of your visit here, sir?" Let's hear it.
What's the I don't have an
Well, here the Irish customs man. What's the purpose of your visit here, sir?
What's your purpose of your visit here, sir?
It's my mum's 60th birthday. And you're gonna say, "And where's your mum?"
And where's your mom?
And you're gonna go, "She's not 60." Let's hear it.
He's not 60.
Yes! And so it began. And so it began. Ah, she's not 60. True story. And so then we're staying which hotel?
The park.
It was in the park. And so I said to Grandma, to our mother, let's go find a crack.
True story.
That's the fun. That's the fun. That's like the fun. So we went down and it was this little place called Foley's Irish Bar. Remember? And so Mom and I walked in. It was like really smoky. You couldn't see anything. And we sat down next to each other. And everyone was like looking at us like this. And Mom says, so what happens now? Let's hear it. So what happens? Well, someone's supposed to sing it. I suppose that's me. Yeah, everyone kind of went like, listen, Bob, the crack is not here. Let's get out of here. So we left, and there's this woman way down there with the beautiful blonde hair. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know where the crack is in town? And your line is, oh, it's in the Rowty Bar. Do you know where the crack is?
Oh, it's in the
Yeah! And so Mom said, where's that? I said, well, now, you go down a little bit this way. When you go this way, you go past the place where you go that way. But don't go that way. Make sure you keep on going right to where you should turn this way. So Mom and I walked down. We just walked this way. And then this door opened up. And these little bagpipe notes came out from behind it. It said the Falcher Bar. And they just wrapped around Mom, circled her around just like fairy music, and pulled her in. And we found the crack because there was Ursula, the Irish piper. She said, tomorrow night, there's a sing-song. And Michael O'Neill, where is he?
Mike O'Neill.
He's coming in from Germany into court. And he's flying down in his plane. And he knows there's going to be a sing-song that night. And Mom is standing at the top of the Park Hotel, looking at her watch. Because the sing-song starts at 8 o'clock sharp. And time is ticking, remember, Mom? At which point Lisa says, Mom, we have to wait because Michael is going to be coming in. Mom said,
You wait.
she did not say that. She said, she actually did not say.
She did not say that.
He can get here. We're going to the pub right now.
The pub's close at 11. We don't have much time.
Now, who is that? Who's actually at that trip? It's Mary.
Yes.
Mary, Mary, could you stand up, please?
I'd love
And
to.
Lisa.
I was there.
Michael, you
Yes.
with this? Michael, Catherine,
Yes.
Catherine, and Mom, please,
Yes.
please, come on.
She wants. She
Or
can
you
sit.
can wave.
No,
She can wait.
no, she's gonna be fine. She's gonna love this. She'll love this. So what happened was, was this. So there was this sing-song, right? And then all of a sudden, little Michael O'Sullivan, he was about how tall? He got up and he said this, and everybody who wants to stand up if you'd like.
Yes.
But make sure, because this is a toast, so raise your glass. But you need to stand if you'd like. Michael O'Sullivan said this, everybody, hands up,
Oh, yes.
wrists together,
Yes.
elbows together, butt out. Aru-cha-cha, 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 aru-cha-cha. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again.
And Mom was right in front with her white sneakers and her little Parker, right in front with her knees together and her arms together. We don't know where Michael was. He wasn't there yet. Going, aru-cha-cha,
aru-cha-cha. So check it out. Well, thank you so much. So check it out. So then. Okay. In conclusion. Now watch the voice shift.
bring it down.
Now, in conclusion, my mother, our mother, your godmother, said this 20 years ago.
Grandmother.
Grandmother.
Your Nana.
Nana said this 20 years ago. She said this was the first vacation since I was a little girl when I didn't have to take care of anybody. And people took care of me. So everybody raise your glass.
Yes.
To taking care of Nana for the next 20 years, if she'll let us. To Nana! Nice job, Doctor.
This is in my phone. Building on Bees Ireland, this is not my toast, but I need to build on one other thing. Everybody always thought that the Planskys are very competitive, right? And so they all thought they must have gotten that from Grandpa Bernie, right? Sports, fishing, everything. Little did you all know, if you have a competitive bone in your body, genetically, it comes from Nana. And let me tell you why. On that Ireland trip, Uncle B, much to everyone's chagrin, took us on a hike that was, let's just say, off the beaten path.
How off the path was it, Mary?
Much off the path. Let's just say scrapes, under fences. Barbed wire. Lots of sheep, goats.
Gorse.
Catherine, I think, was about to kill him. And so we're going up the mountain with Nana. And Mike O'Neill, you know, as polite and lovely gentleman, checking on Nana. Madeline, how are you doing? And she looks back at him and goes, I'm doing fine. I'm second. Nana's competitive spirit, thank you for passing it on to all.
Happy birthday!
That wasn't even my toast. You guys are going to kill me. Anybody else who'd like to speak? The floor is yours, children. I know
feel you
you're all
need some
prepped.
space after Dr. B.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We gotta digest that.
Think about it.
Big, huge rock formation coming out of the water, right? Guess who climbed that?
No.
Your Nana. It's called the Skelligs. Top 10 most dangerous tourist sites in the world. And so we figured, why not take Nana there for her 60th, right? What could go wrong?
Suddenly the
And so in typical Irish fashion, we take Nana, Uncle B, who I just had to yell at most of the time.
There's a rope, right?
There's a rope, so like you can't, there's so much current. When the boat comes to the Skelligs, where you guys saw that Star Wars film, you can't dock the boat, because if you do, it'll crash. So what they do is they tie the front of the boat, and then they have the guy in the back who kind of like uses his body to bring it to the side, and you have to jump off. So he's so enthralled with it, he's not paying any attention. And I'm like, and he's wearing a kilt everywhere we went. And I said, "Babe, help Mom get off the boat." She's like, "Whatever." Jump all the way up the Skelligs, all the way down, no railings. I thought I was going to throw up. It was awful. 900 steps. They are not big enough for your foot to fit on. You have to go sideways. Cliff drops. Cliff drops, Max. And then we come back to the Park Hotel, and they're like, "Oh, where'd you go now?" We're like, "Oh, we went to the Skelligs." "Oh, that's lovely. We lost a few tourists there, you know."
Wasn't that the place where Frank got his leg crushed against the boat?
I figured we'd take Mom.
That sounds like an awesome
Wasn't that place? Wasn't that the place where the boat just smashed on the rocks and everyone had to hold on and wait for the Coast Guard?
They did that, didn't they? God bless.
So I'm looking confused. Did Uncle Michael O'Neill ever show up?
He did show up.
Okay.
He missed the pub though. He didn't make it to the Vulture
He said,
Bar.
"Where is everyone?" And I said, "They're at the pub." "What are your mothers do now?" She said, "You
For the record, I was driving stick on the wrong side of the road, on the wrong side of the car, in the rain, on Western Irish roads, for 2 hours from Cork, but it was worth it. It was really worth it.
What'd you say, Mel? That stands like an excuse, is that what you said?
Yes, I think
The knits on the ladies' side.
Oh, the knits at the ladies. What is it called? Ladies watch? Ladies, the knits.
The knits, yeah.
Okay, so this little place, just really quickly, so there was this little place right near County Kerry, and it was the time, there were all these little nits and horrible little fighting flies. I went off in this van to go get something. I come back and I see Mom and Catherine just slapping each other in the face. From a distance, they go, wham! 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 Mom's going, bam! Oh my God, what are they? They're fighting! It's like there's like nits everywhere. They go, ladies view.
Oh, I've never seen you in one time. Hysterics. Absolutely. Hysterics. You fight, Catherine.
They were just beating on each other from a distance.
Oh, chowder! Yay! First course.
First.
Oh, breather. Then John, you're up.
I got great faith in you, Uncle John.
So I don't have those stories. I did, however, spend a few years with Uncle B in Ireland. So I
Oh, no.
maybe before Mom went, and I'm not shocked by this type of activity. Glad he wasn't arrested this time, which is good. It was really good. So, my story's a little bit more mundane. My things are Mom a little bit, a few simple things where, when I talk to Mom, whether it's on the phone or a text, there's a few things like all of us will recognize, right? Which is great, right? Mom's always available. When you start talking to Mom, I don't know how much time you have when you start. Two things you better be planned for. Number one, you need a lot of time, and number two, you got plenty of time to think. The other thing I would say is Mom's really good at social media and texting, like way better than me, right? And which I guess isn't hard.
Lower the bar, John. Well done. Well done.
But I'll tell you a perfect example, right? I was about to get my hip done, and I'm like, Mom, I text Mom, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to be a double hipper. Like, immediately she goes, just like your mother. And a knee. And a back. Okay, so Mom's got me on all that. So I'll just say, like, for me, the one thing I've traveled all over the world and all these other things, and it's one thing I know when Mom is always there for me, no matter where I am. For the last whatever, you're always even though we haven't talked in a while, I just know, right? And I hope you know, you're the same way. So for me, that's what, it's all about, and, it's been great, 80, whatever, next 20 years and all, it's gonna be the same way. So, happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you.
I know you know that I know that you know.
Be louder than Mark.
That was awesome. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kate. First and foremost, I think we've gone 2 toasts without acknowledging and thanking the immediate folks responsible for this unbelievable room and dinner. That would be Auntie Mary, Uncle Paul, and most importantly, Bree. Bree, unbelievable. All the decorations, Auntie Mary did the poster of Nana, which is unbelievable. All the decorations and the hand-cut, hand-picked flowers are courtesy of Bree. Unbelievable, great. The dinner that we're about to have, the appetizers, Paul and Bree were all in charge. And to what Uncle John was just saying, it's about family. And Nana, obviously, is the matriarch of this great family, with Grandpa Bernie. Without Grandpa Bernie and Nana, none of us would be here. And trust me, everybody at this table, the folks at this table know that this is incredibly unique. This doesn't happen, guys. And Nana, that's what I want to thank you for. I'm not done with my toast. I just want to thank you.
No, you did good.
My dad!
I just want to thank you for having 28 people. Ellery and Caroline would have been an even fitter event. Dying to get here tonight to celebrate your 80th
I
birthday.
appreciate it so much.
And that's wonderful. So, now, you people over there, raise your hand, you 12 grandchildren of the Planskys, well, the Planskys.
Maddie's over there.
Maddie and
Almost 14.
almost 14.
Yes.
Right, but just the immediate Plansky originals. Raise your hand if Nana has gone to one of your sporting events, artistic events, school shows, in your career. That's 100% participation. Of the 7 uncles and aunts, raise your hand if Mom has gone to your athletic event.
Oh,
artistic
yes.
event.
Oh, yes.
So what you guys need to know is when Nana was going to our games, whether it was watching Auntie Lisa win the first ever state championship for Wakefield High School, or Auntie Mary.
What did I do?
We need pregame!
You bring me to it! Thank you for finishing my line. Or Auntie Mary, winning 3 games. Nana went to all 22, but because they were 3 and 19, she got Coach Toner fired, which led Grandpa Plansky to victory and state championship. Nana was there for all the games.
Good job, Mary.
Yeah! What you may not know is that Nana and Grandpa Bernie went to our games, and Grandpa Bernie just sat there like this during every game. Didn't matter what happened, right? Lisa, when he wasn't coaching, just went like this. Nana, right next to Grandpa Bernie, would be like a little more animated. Let's just say there wasn't a good call, Terry, and the referee made a mistake, and Williams, the referee. She might be sitting down, and Grandpa Plansky would be like this, and Nana might go, "Open your good eye! Really? What are you doing?" At which time, Grandpa, and you know I'm right, Uncle B? It's true. Grandpa Bernie would go like this, to like this. Nana, come on down. What I love about that story is, what nobody knows in that table is before we all went to the games, Nana made 4 or 5 casseroles of lasagna and dinner and prepared us all to eat. Then would go chair, then would come back, and when Grandpa Bernie told us how bad we were and how pissed off we all got going upstairs, Nana would conclude the night by going, "No, it's okay. Paul, you played well." Your father's making good points.
Right.
Just pay attention to the words, don't watch how he says it. Pay attention to the words. My favorite Nana story, and I am going to conclude with this, is Maddie's freshman year when they on.
You cannot. I gave him that. You
I won't
can't.
do that. It's a different story.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a different story.
Okay.
It's a different story. It's a different story.
Maddie, get ready for another story.
All right, I'll see your backup.
My favorite Nana story then is
Dad, you can do it.
telling Coach Pessamino.
Uh-oh.
When we visited,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this one.
You want to tell the story,
you
Ned?
can tell it.
No, I think, yeah, you should tell the
No,
story.
no, it's okay. Well, I actually didn't tell him, were you sure? So I arrived back and I told who was driving.
It was Paul Cormier, the assistant coach,
We're driving back and they were also doing Gene Miles.
Eugene Miles, so.
So I said, if you guys recruit Gene Miles, Mark's not coming.
So now, just back up, I already said I want to go to Villanova, and there was a problem, so Nana and Grandpa Bernie went down, they came back, and everyone's good. Nana says, yeah, this is great, and everyone's all excited, she goes, well, hold on, hold on. You're recruiting Eugene Miles from Dorchester? Yeah, he's a bad guy, right? I'm a bad guy. And the coach made some politically correct response to it, right? Well, you know, we're looking at him, this and that, and Nana just went, here's the deal. If you recruit Gene Miles, my son's not coming. Are we clear? So raise your glass to the person I most love calling every day when I have 48 minutes of nothing to do.
That's still.
And ask,
Sound like a theme.
and ask Nana, how's your day going? And she never doesn't tell me how the day is going. I love you, Mom. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Nana.
Thank you.
What you just
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was in third grade,
Nice and loud.
so when I was in third grade, Nana came to my baseball playoff game. It was, I think it was like a state tournament, and we ended up losing 3-2. And I had a really good game. And then I came off the field crying, and Nana was sitting by the parents with Mom. And when I went over, she's like, "Why are you crying? Everybody else sucks." I love you, Nana. Happy birthday.
So, my favorite young memory of Nana, so we're in the Wakefield house, and I was probably 6 or 7. And for some reason I was there, what's that?
It's another house?
Yes. So,
That's great.
downstairs, Nana's got a trash bag, right? And for some reason I'm like at the bottom of the stairs. Nana opens up the door, and just drops the trash bag, goes, ah! Shuts the door, and I'm like, Nana, what's wrong? She's like, oh, no, it's okay, it's okay. Picks up the trash bag again, opens the door, ah! Drops it again. There's a big raccoon, like, sitting right in the And I was like, why don't I just take the trash? I have no idea why she picked the trash bag up the second time. So B came in yesterday, and I had a back issue. So B starts looking at my back, seeing how things are, starts doing his Shakespeare for Thugs and Kung Fu, stuff. And, starts to talk about, well, the issue is that I'm not putting enough support in my back. And my back knows that, so it's getting all knotted up. So he says, lean up against the wall. So I lean up against the wall, and I can feel it. He said, all right, take a step off the wall. I take a step off the wall. And he's like, now picture anybody that's in your life, has ever been in your life, that can support you and support your back. And just like if you're going to fall backwards, they'd be there.
And the thing that popped into my head was Mom and everybody in this room. And Mom was at the head of it, and then everybody was behind. Now, some of you were further back than others. John, you were up close. You know, very, very supportive, very generous, very supportive. We'd love to keep it that way. But what we saw, what I could see, you know, where Mom was like leading everybody there. Mel was up there with Mom. They were complaining about Trump. You know, sharks don't complain. They don't complain. They just swim around. They bite stuff. They scare stuff. They remind everyone that they're an effing shark. But anyway, so why did I think of Mom though? Because for at least the last 10 years, Mom's been coming over our house at least once a week. To have more than that, to have dinner and to read to Max. And so it's been up, down, sideways. So everything that's gone through our life, she's helped raise my kids. And she's also had the benefit of seeing what they've become. And, you know, with that, you know, our guys would not be where they are. I would not be where they are, and Maxie wouldn't be where they are. And it was every week. So we were able to use that time that she likes to talk. But we would get caught up on everything. Every challenge that I had, you know, and the great thing about Mom is that when she's with you, Dad's with you. And you can just feel it. And it's super powerful. And so then from there, you know, it didn't just stop there though, you know, because there would be no "you're with us" that coming from Mom. Both working out the, you know, the logistics of it and also supporting it from the beginning. And, you know, there always would have been, Max would have still been with Northeastern, everything would be going great, but there wouldn't be 100 other families that now had a group to go to and that were connected. And, you know, when you make it your purpose to be more about others than about yourself, you got a chance to change the world. You got a chance to make it better. And Mom has checked that for us. So, happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday.
I love you guys.
Hi, I got a toast for Nana.
All right. Hey! It's a good room for that, Terry. Why don't you proceed?
So,
I will speak because I have the floor.
so you haven't seen Good Will Hunting?
He just did.
Go home right now.
I've seen it.
Right, watch it come
We
back.
saw it like yesterday.
So one thing about Nana, like, I mean, I think you guys probably mentioned this, but it's like adding on to all the good things to say about her, and what is true, is that she always makes your day better, no matter like what mood you're in. If you're like the best mood, like of your life, you'll be better. And if you're like the worst, crappiest mood, you'll still be better. So like, well, so one story, guys, I'm coming home from middle school. And I mean, it normally isn't a good day.
Don't listen to that.
Terry, is that because of the teachers at middle school?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so I was, you know, just, you know, frustrated, like so-and-so said this, and this teacher stinks. And then Nana was like staying with us for like a couple days, because like you were in Italy?
I was.
Yeah. And so I walk in, and I hear this music playing, and then I just look in the room, and Nana has her sunglasses on, it's just jamming out. Yeah, and it's just like 90 and she's just like. and then she's like, I saw these sunglasses, and I saw Alexa, and I thought, why not? and then like, she just made my day so much better, and I was just so happy. Like, whatever Nana does, it just always makes me a better person, and I always feel better. So, toast to Nana.
Yeah. Great job, Terry! Well done.
Well done, team.
So when I was still in elementary school, we went on a trip to Seattle with Nana and my mom, and we were staying in the Four Seasons Hotel. And we were gonna go to all the tourist attractions, and they offered a car service, which was, of course, a sports car. And when we were going places, we would be in like shorts and a t-shirt, and the other people that were using the car were in like these like glamorous like dresses, and like they're going to like really fancy places. And I remember we were getting off at the duck boats, and when we got off, we were like, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. And Nana goes, who cares? We're never going to see these people again anyways. So that has become the Nana motto, and we've been following it ever since. And Nana will say it like in the funniest times when it's like a bad day or something. It always makes me feel better. And yeah, so love you, Nana. Happy birthday.
Okay, so my
Cousin Will. Hey Lisa, Uncle B.
Okay. My favorite memory with Nana is when Emily and I used to live at 17th. Every morning during the summer, we would always go into Nana's room when she woke up and watch Project Runway. And then once it became later in the morning, all the cousins that were staying there would always join in too, and we would all be in the bed. That's a good one. There were lots of interesting
I want to have just a very quick toast. I really appreciate you having such a big voice in the room, like power. Like a great, powerful voice with confidence. It's great to see.
You go, girl.
Thank you. Everybody else who has spoken, same as her. Lisa, that's a compliment.
Yes.
Tell
the story carefully.
Uh-oh.
So, most of you know that for the last couple of years, Michael and I have had house guests.
Who might those be, Lisa?
Michael's parents.
I like animals.
Which, as we've said, sometimes even the people that you love a lot, you don't necessarily live with in the best way. So, it can be a little stressful from time to time. I understand. So last spring, Andrew's graduating from Kennedy Elementary School, and he has this show, Proud to be an American. And at the time, the house was about to empty out, and Nana was going to come and stay with us. She was going to see her final Proud to be an American show. She was going to stay over. We're going to have all this fun. Plans changed. There wasn't going to be space in the house. I was pretty upset. So, lots of, who's the social media? Lots of texting between Mom and I. So I got...
angry little face.
Yeah.
There was all the emojis.
So I said, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I'm really sorry that you're not going to be able to come. I can't believe you're going to miss this. And, you know, it's gonna change the tenor of it, etc. But the show is at like 9:30 in the morning. So there's no way that Mom can come just for the day and fight all the traffic from Wakefield to Franklin. That's never going to happen. So I go to work and I get permission from my principal to come to the show. And I'm just angry and bitter. And I'm driving to the show, and Michael meets me there, and he's all by himself. And I said, oh, it's just you coming? He's like, yeah, you know, and now it's just me. It's all right, well, fine. I wish Mom would come. And I come in, and there's Nana, who had probably left at like 6:30 in the morning and had driven to get there. And I just like this, I started to cry. Because I felt like I needed my mom, and there she was.
Always.
So for always being there.
Yeah. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Yes.
There you go, you're good. You all feel old now. I feel
Really sorry that was
You're
not
good.
okay.
Alright, I'm not sure if you remember this, but when we were younger, I think either you or Anna had gone on this thing called the Lobster Roll Cruise.
The
It was
Lobster
this
Roll
cruise.
Cruise out of Dennis.
Yes, it was out of Dennis. And you guys talked about how great it was, and meanwhile the three of us had not been on the lobster cruise because Mom hates cruises.
It's my fault. Go on.
It's not your fault. Okay. So, when we were younger, we were like, oh, we really want to go on the lobster cruise, and we were eating lunch at that table down in the Cape. And Nana was like, well, we can go on the lobster cruise. And so we basically pretended we were on the lobster cruise all lunch for like an hour and a half. We'd be like, yes, gliding along and like looking at the animals through the window, and like we'd shake when the boat was going like this. And that wasn't the only time we did it, because we all really liked it, so we did that like 3 times. So we're like, oh yeah, let's go on the lobster roll cruise. Let's watch. And it was really nice because it was like a nice creative thing, and it was very fun. I do remember that.
Very fun.
Right, that's
Nana making up stories. So for all you grandkids, when you were born, you probably don't remember this because you were an infant. Nana would make up songs.
It's not her toast, Mom.
It's not my toast.
This is not, no.
This is like coming out with my cake.
Mom, this is her fifth, not her toast.
Not my toast.
Not her toast.
Not my toast.
Right.
So Nana would make up songs for all you guys, which started with "Good morning, good morning, it's great to greet the day every morning with all of you," and then she would. I'm sorry. She is so funny. So Mom would do all these songs, and Anna and Terry only a few months apart. So we were at the Cape when they were both infants, and Nana's in the chair. She has Terry in one arm and Anna in the other, and she's looking at Anna and going, "You're such a pretty girl," and then she's looking at Terry. "You're such a pretty girl, but you're a boy, not a girl." So she always thinks on her feet and always gives us the most fabulous memories that we laugh about all the time. So thank you, Nana.
Really good not toast. Really good not toast.
Thank you.
All right, go get it, Eddie.
All right, here we are.
Watch out for the
Here we
water.
go. We'll try really hard not to cry in this one. I already broke the ice. I know, you broke the ice.
So, I have a theme that I have 2 stories that will support the theme. And one is one Dad almost stole. And
It's
so,
better to recreate than create, Will.
anyways, so.
That's how Mark got through Villanova.
In Wakefield. So speaking of Villanova, when you're a freshman in college, like many of you know you're antsy, you want to make friends. No, I was the girl super excited for Nana to come for a weekend. That was me. Because Dad was having the 85 30th reunion, so I meet Nana. It was Nana, Dad, and I. Right, that's it. And we're walking, Dad's doing his thing with all the other boys, and Nana and I, featured in that picture up there where she's hugging the wildcat, we're walking through the pavilion. And I'm watching her just smile huge the entire time. And I know she is, because she's remembering all the amazing memories that she had with Dad, that Dad had there, that she had with Grandpa Bernie and all of you. And it was so selfless, because Dad's history at Villanova, my present time at Villanova, was giving her all of this joy. And I think that kind of just shows how it doesn't matter what her day looks like, because I called her a few months ago, and a few of us know she's been having trouble with her meds, and she was having a really rough day. And she told me that right off the bat. She was like, "Man, it's not feeling good." So I just started talking, and she kept asking me questions. By the end of the phone call, it sounded like Nana was as healthy as she could be, because she puts aside all of her pain for all of us. You got it. Come on, you got it.
You got it, man.
So the point is that Nana's happiest moments are when we're happy. And she's so unique in the sense that she mentally and physically and emotionally can adapt to how we feel, no matter how awful you're feeling. And that's something that I aspire to be, and I'm so grateful to have your name. And the other day, someone texted me happy birthday on July 25th, and I'm so lucky to be your first grandbaby, because forever I'll have you. We all will, but I feel so close to you. So thank you.
Well done, well done.
Oh yeah, we're going prop comedy, people.
Castletown.
When I think of Madeline Plansky,
Which Madeline?
I think of this. That's mine, by the way.
QVC!
Not even. It might look like a spatula. Perhaps it is a child punishment device. But in all honesty, I don't know why that one.
I may have broken it.
But in all honesty, when I look at this, I do think of Madeline Plansky. You know why? Because I stole this one from the Cape House. I did one. But I have one in my house in Franklin. All right. And when I look at this, okay, what I see is Madeline Plansky's kindness, her thoughtfulness, her generosity. Because items like this, where you could flip an entire side of beef, or other items I could have chosen, which we went through and looked at, right, in our little closet in Franklin, one of which was a double-sided scissor for chopped salad.
The toss and chop.
QVC?
Fantastic. But as your son-in-law, okay, I want you to know that I've never felt anything but loved and welcomed and thought of. And your thoughtfulness and your generosity and your kindness is something that when anybody asks me about my family, my extended family, is one of the first things I always mention Madeline. Because the idea that you are sitting up at God knows what hour, and this comes across QVC, and you think of me, makes me really feel loved. So thank you so much. And I could not have asked for a better and a more supportive mother-in-law. So thank you. I love you. Happy birthday.
The child discipline device. This one you might appreciate. Nana, tell me you remember this. When I was Will's age, I was at home being a knucklehead, and Nana got really mad at me for some reason, and Nana's here, and I'm here, and she wanted to do something, so she grabbed a wooden spoon and hit me as hard as she could right here, and it flew off my arm and across the kitchen. The kitchen is sitting on the hot road, and she looked at it, she looked at me, she started laughing, and she goes, "Don't make me get another spoon." And I was like, sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. I got this. My bad.
So I'm going to do a very quick connect.
It's improv, folks.
So when Madeline Plansky there said that Madeline Plansky here is able to put away her own suffering and bring it to bear to help another. Oh, I wonder where I got that from as a doctor. Where'd that come from? Right, somewhere in the family, right? And who said that when wherever Nana is, Grandpa?
Michael
Bernie's there?
said that.
Michael said that, that's right. And who said when You step off the wall, you feel your tribe behind you. That was
Michael.
also Michael.
Michael, also Michael.
You know what?
Do you want me to say the whole thing now?
Well, you know,
That brings me
if
very.
you don't mind.
Were you listening to my?
I was listening. Very briefly, to Uncle John. Mrs. Kudo, who was our second who was our second grade teacher. And like, you know, doctors have terrible penmanship, like Mrs. Kudo said, you like you have a 3 for effort and a 2 for conduct. Well, it's my favorite story. I tell this in the office at least every month it comes up. It comes up at least every month, or maybe every 2 months. And it's that when John, Mrs. Kudo called a PTA meeting, private, with Mr. and Mrs. Plansky to talk about John. I tell this all the time. It's one of my favorite stories. And so as I remember it, Mom, you can comment, and maybe I'm making this up. But Mrs. Kudo, when Mark said, Grandpa Bernie's looking out at the court, Mrs. Kudo's going up one side of John and down the other. And Mom is listening, and Grandpa Bernie's like this. And then at the end, she said, Mr. Plansky, do you have anything to say? He said, yes. Last year, John likes school. This year, he doesn't. Therefore, the problem is you. To Nana and Grandpa Bernie. May your influence live on.
Happy birthday!
So that leads me to. Let me teach you. So, with all these stories, I also have a short story. But I actually don't have a story, but my speech is short. With all these stories and all these wonderful people in the room, just being a mother of 2, I've always been in awe that you're a mother of 7 and that you've got such a lovely, wonderful family that thinks the world of you, that always shows up for you. And I just always hope that my family feels the same. And I admire you so much for being such a wonderful mother. And your children and your grandchildren are your legacy. And what a lovely legacy you have. So here's to you. Thank you.
Wow, I talk now. Who knew?
Did you hear that, Max?
So one of my earliest memories with Nana, I was probably like 4. And Nana's trying to give me the stranger danger talk. And she's like, all right, so if someone like pulls up next to you and is like, all right, I have candy in my car, like, do you want some? I'd always be like, yeah, of course. No, that's not what I mean. Okay, so like, what if you had a dog in the car? And I'm like, well, of course I want to pet the dog. And she's like, no, that's not how it works. So for a very long time, that's my reaction to it. But that's just one of my earliest memories with Nana. A later one was at my high school graduation where a woman unfortunately passed out during the key. And our chorus had just stood up to go and sing a nice song for the graduating class. And Nana, in her own fashion, is like, come on, just sing, she's fine. She was just like, she's fine, just take away an ambulance, just sing. Well, let's get this going. But aside from all of her little fun comments like that, we've had many conversations where when she'll come for the Wednesday dinners, where she'll go and read to Max and she'll talk to Michael and I about our day and just really go in depth about like just who we are and like our family. And one thing that I've noticed is that if there's anything going on with any of the 3 of us, she'll always reach out and text us or call us. And if like Michael does something with golf, or if I like we both made the dean's list. Nana's the first one to get to us and be like, I'm so proud of you, and we didn't even have to tell her, she just already knows. It's the social media thing. But one thing too that I noticed is that Auntie Catherine and I were talking about why I want to do psychology, and the main thing for me is I want to help people. And it's very evident from just our family that everyone wants to help each other and everyone is looking out for each other, and how I got it from my dad. Now he wants to help out people like Max, and how my dad got it from Nana and Grandma Bernie. And I just wanted to point out how evident it is about the love in our family and how connected we are. And just such a special person that Nana is, that she will, if you need anything, she will be there, and she always will be.
Happy birthday!
Megan. That was good.
So I remember,
boys, Max, it's gonna be okay. So we all have had our own goofy moments with Nana and everything, and I think one of the funny moments I had when I was really young, I don't know if you remember this, but when we first, or at least when I can remember when we first started going down the Cape, you and I would stay up late, we played Chinese checkers.
Oh, yeah.
And so you taught me how to play, and I started to pick it up, and I was doing well, and I beat you in a couple games. And I was like, Nana, you gotta try harder, this, that, the other. And then I won a couple more games, and I said, Nana, are you letting me win? And you said, maybe. And I said, all right, try this time. And we probably played another 20 games, and Nana absolutely smoked me. And we have never played Chinese checkers since. But I think one of the things that, for myself, and I know everybody can probably agree with, is that Nana is one of the biggest supporters of everything that we ever do. And I think it's almost dangerous that she has a cell phone now, because the moment any of us have any major or minor accomplishment in our lives, she's the first one to text you or give you a call and let you know how proud she is of what we've done. And I know for myself, you know, through the things that I've done and throughout my life, having Nana there to support me along the way and know that she's one of my biggest fans has meant so much to me. So, happy birthday, we all love you.
Good job, Michael. I mean, Megan was better, but...
Who was better? I was gonna say, who was better? Competitive gene.
You're gonna hate me.
Yeah. Unlike everybody else here, I haven't known her my whole life, and I wish I had. But seeing her the first time, I'll never forget this. I walk in, and Mom's like, all right, she's kind of old. And
That's what he said.
I'm going in expecting
Waves
this.
off.
I'm going in expecting this elderly woman, and I walk in and I see her, and I'm like, what? So as the months go by, I find out more and more about this woman. Then she has a cell phone and she texts. And as the years have gone by, she's treated me like a grandson, which is wonderful to have someone else. So thank you for the love you've given me, and even the little gifts you leave unexpected, like Family Feud card games and stuff to play at the Cape. That's it.
That's it.
That's all I got.
This is for my lifeguard.
Why is your jacket on? It's because you're sweating too much?
No, it's I want to say right down the end of that table. We had a policeman come into our practice. He's a patient of ours, and what he said was,
You're under arrest.
well, he didn't say that. What he said was, he said, I don't know what's happening. I'm having some like chest pain. I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm really short of breath. And I don't know what's happening to me. And so, obviously, as a doctor, you make sure there's no heart attack or other medical things. But at the end of the day, when it wasn't there, and it's not a medical problem, he said, well, maybe it is. I'm getting anxious about something. And he said, I'm being deployed in the National Guard to Afghanistan. And I'm beginning to get worried I may not see my daughter again. And I don't know why I'm thinking that, because I'm not going to be in harm's way, but what's actually making it worse is I'm remembering things that happened as a sheriff that I kind of pushed away. I said, well, talk to your other police officers. He said, we don't do that. We don't talk to each other about that stuff. And so I actually found him a counselor who was an ex-Marine, but they didn't like fit. And so then I had this crazy idea. It probably came from Nana. So
Everybody can eat, by the way. Don't
keep
don't
eating.
not eating. Okay, it's gonna go on for quite a while.
So as I said, this is for the end of the table. So what happened was the man who walked Catherine down the aisle, where her dad had died, he was a World War II veteran, and I was his doctor. And so I talked to him. I talked to the policemen. They both thought this was a sort of an interesting but unorthodox idea. And the three of us sat in the office together. They had never met each other. I introduced them, and they had a conversation. And all of a sudden, the policeman opened up. And what he said, because that man had seen what I had seen in war and could stand with it and could be with it, he opened up the room for me to walk in, just as Nana does. She opens up the room because she can stand with whatever's going on in her world, and so she opens up the room for everyone. To Nana, who opens the room for everyone.
Amen. Happy birthday! Mike, I knew you was going to make a connection sooner or later. I really did. It was coming around. I saw it coming.
Floor, everybody.
Ava. Wait, Ava, do you want me to go first? I'll go first and then you can go. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you, Nana, for always seeming to have like all of the time in the world for all of us. And like, for example, like in the beginning of the summer, I had a horseback riding lesson, and it was scheduled for 30 minutes, and it was an hour and a half. Because what ended up happening is I had to switch horses, and then I had like another hour after. And Nana, you saved the entire lesson, and I just want to thank you.
Ava.
All right, Ava.
Can I just repeat that so you can hear it? Andrew very quietly, Ava's about to give a token. Andrew very quietly says, "Can I have a fry?" And Ava looks at Andrew and goes, "You can have them all."
That's beginning long.
Okay, so when I was up at the Cape like a couple weeks ago, Nana was reading to Max, and me and Megan were in the living room. And Chris walks in, and Nana goes, "Hey, get Max a crew neck." And Chris goes, "What's that? I only packed Max sweatshirts." And Nana goes, You're telling me you don't know what a crew neck is?" And she goes, "Okay, then get him a quarter zip." And he didn't know what any of those were. And Nana and Chris had this long conversation for like 10 minutes.
It was like an hour.
Arguing about like why Chris didn't know what that was. And then he also asked where the water went when the tide was up and down. And Nana was just laughing at him all week. That was like. And then so I remember for my first communion I barely knew Nana, and she came to it, which I was happy. And then my grandma, when she passed away, Nana, I remember she like welcomed me into her home and stuff like that.
Hi Lisa, good to see you there. Glad you can make it. Love the dress.
And you just hear a lot of common themes. You know, one of them would be Nana tells you how it is. And I mean, I'm thinking of that, you know, after Dad passed, Nana had a bunch of vehicles, and they would start breaking down, so we bought new ones. And I remember one of them we were trading in. We traded in, I think, the town car, which we just got, and Nana came home one day and goes, "Oh, I'm getting rid of this right now." I was like, "What do you mean? You only had it 6 months." So I put on the brakes and I slid through 2 intersections. I was like, okay. So we went and got a new car. We're going back and forth with this person who looked like Ray Wright, didn't he? And he's all 3-piece suit. We're sitting there, and he's a slick salesman, has all the moves. He pulls the car over and says, "Mom, stop right." It says, "Madeline, stop right here. Listen to this." And the car's ringing. It was okay. Start it. Nana goes to start it, and it's like already running because supposedly it's so quiet, so I don't hear it. And it does. It's like, "Oh, you see what it was? Great." So he does all this slick stuff, one after another after another. We get back into the sales room. We're going negotiating back and forth, and the guy goes, "All right, well, I'm gonna go talk to my manager first and see if I can get this deal." "Oh, okay. Well, you know, we're close, but we're not there yet. So now we're gonna go here and give me a credit card, that'll help out." He comes back a third time and he goes, "You know what, now I just gotta call him and I'll see if that price goes." Nana goes, "I don't care if you get a tin can with a string to it. This is what I'm paying, not a penny more, and that's that." And after that moment, we went home with the car.
Right. You know, I caved in.
It was done. But that was it. I mean, I was in a position where it was a little different because I lived with Nana alone for a long time. You know, there was other brothers and sisters came home from time to time, but I was in that house a while after Dad died. And we did a lot of fun things. And Nana, I didn't realize how many things she taught me. She taught me how to buy a car. That's how I bought my cars ever since, you know? So I learned that from her. Nana's one of the best teachers I've ever met, not because she was a teacher. Because
maybe partly because she
no, I think it's because of who she is. She didn't, it wasn't because she was a teacher, it's because the person she became was her calling. So that's why she was a teacher, because it was ingrained in her, I'm sure from her mother and her father before that, which was ingrained in me and ingrained to all of us. I mean, we're all coaches, we're all teachers, we're all helping people. It's what we do one way or another, whether it's with the kids, whether it's other places. Michael, you're with us, Dr. John, I'm not sure about you. That happens. Lisa going on and teaching, Mary doing so many great things.
Wow, everyone but me.
Nailed it. Polly, sit down. Just
Thanks, have a good night. One more thing though. One more thing. Rather than getting up 5 or 6 more times like everyone else. The other thing that I couldn't stop thinking about was something I learned along the way, which was to be able to go do something for someone else without wanting something back in return. That's Nana. She's there, will do anything for you, and doesn't want anything back. Doesn't keep a score. She's not like, "Ooh, I went to watch Emily sing for an hour and a half, so now Emily go do the dishes." It wasn't, "Andrew, everyone else sucks, but tomorrow, you gotta make sure you put these chips away." You know? That's not how it works. Unconditional love. No matter what, Nana loves everyone. Loves us. Everyone in this room. And the couple of kids that aren't here. Loves us unconditionally. And that's just amazing. And the other thing, being the youngest, is Nana always makes you feel like you're the only one in her life when you're talking to her. Not that I'm one of 7. I was an only child when I was with Nana. She made me feel like I always had her attention. I don't know, I'm assuming it's the same with the grandkids. And that is special to me. Because it wasn't like I was one of 7. It was me. I mean, we have a great support system, but when I was with Nana, it was about me. And it did make those hour-long trips talking to her on my way back from work, but it's a lot easier.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So Mark,
Yeah, so anyway, so on that, Paul, Rick, as you need to hear this because this is outstanding. On Uncle Paul's comments about maybe Nana wouldn't make you do things. We came home and, Nana, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a piece of paper on the refrigerator, like a grid, with the 7 of us on top, the days of the week, and chores in between. So 7 of us, Monday through Sunday, chores. And you go and look and, okay, Mark, set the table. Nice. That was the easiest. Set the table, done. Do the dishes, clean, this and that. Make the milk worst. Worst. Now, everyone over here, you guys are looking at each other like, you know what that means? That's right. When you're one of 7 kids in the 70s, you have Carnation instant milk, which means powder in a box, like the biggest cereal box you could ever imagine.
Maybe that's why you're so.
Pour it into a pitcher, add water, mix thoroughly, put it in a refrigerator for 20 minutes, pour back into the bowl, put the cap on, and do it 12 times. So when it said Mark Milk Wednesday, I'm like, oh my God, I got homework, I can do this. And I put the bottles in there. And Uncle John, Uncle Paul, Uncle B would come in and take the milk, or Nana, or Grandpa Bertie, even worse, and pour it out, and chunks would come out. At which point, wasn't nice to be, who was responsible? Mark! So, count your blessings, you didn't have to make milk. That's all I'm saying.
Happy birthday!
Hey! Oh, Uncle Mark.
Happy birthday.
Did you ever sweep that like trash on the kitchen floor under the rug and get caught?
No.
Oh, was John?
No. Oh, I'm so sorry. But since I have my napkins, speaking of sweeping, sitting in a table of 9, that's right, it's going. Sitting on a table of 9, and I used to be here, and Sister Lisa was here. The one thing that you could not do, Terry, was not eat your vegetables. If you didn't eat your vegetables for Nana, bad things would happen. Bad things would happen. So your mother would not only not eat her vegetables, but she would go, hey, look at that balloon. And drop her napkin over the vegetables and take the plate over to the kitchen and put it back until Thursday, do the dishes, Uncle B. Uncle B? Mom! Mom, look, all the broccoli! Nana, whose plate is this? Oh! Auntie Lisa's. Terrible.
But they would just
So terrible. You think you can't make those stories up?
I'll tell you the story that you can't make up. It's the story that I have told so many people that hopefully you all know, that Mom told us when she was a teacher.
Oh,
So she was teaching 1st grade, and it was is it yours?
No, it's
okay. So it was their very first school experience. They'd never been to preschool, hadn't been to kindergarten, and so you had these 5- and 6-year-olds coming in. And as Nana said, some of them were not potty trained. And so she had one group that she said they'd line up to go to recess, and she would have one of her teachers next to her would say, look at this. And every other kid had wet pants that just, had accidents the whole time. So Nana was trying to do everything very kindly, all the nice things we've been saying about her until she reached the end of her rope. And finally she brought in baby bottles. And when somebody wet their pants, she'd say, you're a baby. And then the bottle would stay there, and then they would stop.
NECS.
Not quite sure.
Oh my goodness. That's as good as when John and Mark in particular would fight. And they really fight.
Can I tell a story?
And Nana
You're a lot.
No, I want to tell a story. It's a good one.
just looked at them. She's like, you got so much, and they'd be fighting in their underwear. I don't know why. They fight, and she'd be like, you got so much energy. Get outside and fight good. And then they would get out on the porch and just stare at each other. Where's
70 Old Nahat Road. February, 10 degrees below zero. We're in the little playroom over the garage. John and I going at it, and Nana just went, "Get out! You want to fight? Get outside and fight!" So like, she pushes on the door. Everybody shuts the door.
We're like not dummies.
Like
10 degrees on it.
So we're like, okay, that's fine. Let's go. She locked the door. And then, like Barry said, she's through the kitchen window. Why aren't you fighting? Like, she's lost her mind.
Nana trained, I was a child prodigy. Going from diapers to potty training. You know the story, but certain people in this room who go unnamed had problems. And when Nana came in with the M&Ms, everything got better fast. Why is it certain people? Guilty.
I
believe it if they
horse thing.
What's the worst thing?
sit in front of the
A little
TV.
horse thing. You gotta have M&M's. It's better to wait. Smart back then.
I was going to actually tell the story that Lisa said, but the other one that I was thinking about is how you made the parish priest cry.
Oh.
What? I don't know all of the details because I'm new to the family, but I do know that Nana was very upset that he did not pray for the victims of the natural disasters, the Haitians. And so she let him know how she felt about that, and then he proceeded to pray for the Haitians for the next 3 years.
Now, Our Lady of the Capes prays for the Haitians too, because our sister parent is in Haiti.
Oh, okay.
So we have a good reason. When I first heard that, I went to Father William at the time and said, "Have you talked to my mother?"
The best part about that story is me talking on the phone to you, and you're like, I think I might have gone too far.
Nana admitted that?
Yeah, well, no, this is what happened. Said, I think I might have gone too far. What happened? She tells the story. She said she corners Father Coughlin after he, processes out and comes around. She's just waiting for him. He has to come back to the sacristy. Said, the first time in the 40 years I've been a parishioner, I'm ashamed. And so she said she started to see the tear. And so then I started to feel a little bad. Then I thought about it, and no, I was right!
She used the A word?
So that was one of the first stories that I came across of Nana, but I do want to just add a little bit. I'm happy to be part of this family. You guys are amazing, and it's funny, when I went to CardSmart to pick up a card, I got into this long conversation about why I was there. The person asked me what I was looking for, and I said, well, it's for an 80th birthday party. Well, who is it? And I said, well, she's going to be my future mother-in-law, but she is a Spitfire, going on, and I'm saying how you raised 7 children, 5 big boys, and that you're the stall. But you really are a strong head of the household and the matriarch of the family. And I think the reason that Ava was so upset is because my kids this year have had it hard. They've lost 3 grandparents and 2 aunts over the past year. And so I think it's really important and special to them and to myself that you've been so welcoming to both myself and my kids. And the open door that someone had said before, I think it was Bernie, that really applies to how I feel that you've been to myself and my kids. It is an open door, and you've welcomed all of us into this family. So thank you, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday! Nice job, Mel.
I'll give a quick little story. So, it's always warm and welcoming, and you can really sense and feel the family. And I'm not always the biggest chatter about this. What are you thankful for? My family and friends, especially my parents. What are you thankful for every year?
my family and friends, especially my parents. And what I can tell you about this family, about coming into this household and being part of it, is that my mom, who some of you have met, who is just absolutely the loveliest, loveliest person. And while we are similar, we couldn't be any more opposite. She's overly gregarious and extremely huggy. And I can be, but let's face it, I'm much more standoffish.
Very Polanski of you.
So it had probably been a couple of years that Paul and I had been together, and my mom was coming in for the weekend. And I said, Mom, don't worry, just no one is there. It was like a November, and just come into the house. I'll be there in like 15 minutes. Just don't sit in your car, please, please, please. I was in limbo, you know, I had a tiny little apartment, and she was coming to stay and visit, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And when I walked in the door, she went, oh, Bree, the love I feel standing in this room is absolutely amazing. And I was like, Mom, the lights are off, and this is and she goes, no, it's good. This is good. You're in a good spot. And I can tell you that it's just absolutely lovely. And so, from my mom's perspective, someone stepping into it who hadn't been in the house more than 5 minutes, that was her take, that was her read, that was her feel. That the love in that house, when she stood in between that kitchen and dining room area, she could sense it. And so I relay that story to you as my story and what you've heard everyone say here tonight about the love in that house, in your Wakefield house, in this room, and everything that is here for you, from everyone who is here and isn't here. It's there, and it's sensed from this outside party who had come in for 5 minutes. So thank you very much for being absolutely.
Never gets old, Will.
You know what, Bree, that same thing happened 2 weekends ago. Anna's friend from New Orleans, who's at Boston Ballet, and her mom came down. Within 5 minutes of coming in to Brewster House, she just said, I feel so much energy and love right now. And she just was walking through the house and she just said, I love this place. I feel so much here. And it was like that. So, I mean, it just came over her. So that's just something, it just makes you feel so good. And that's why we always feel so good when we come together. No matter where it is, but in particular, it's really special when it's here on Cape Cod in Brewster.
Is that your speech?
No, Lisa.
Get ready.
It's close.
Michael Neal was the first one to say.
I think we're
Michael Neal's the
Michael
first
Neal.
one. You remember you were like, I don't know how many hours late.
Don't ruin the day around the same time. I think we're the first one. We're so late.
But you said the next day when you came in, you told me you could feel the love in the house. You could feel the house. You were the first one to say it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I was first for that. I wasn't late. That was good.
First for that. Very late though, coming in to Simpson.
Remember that.
No, it's palpable, Madeline. It's true.
It is true.
You sure it's not when you walk into Brewster, it's 50 degrees in the house and everyone goes, wow, this is a really warm place.
Mary,
are you up?
Yes, honey.
All right, here we go. Who's up? Who's up?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Mary?
Oh.
Mary's next.
Lady C, Mary's last. Mary's up. Mary's last. It's gonna be you. Need him already. Gotta be Lady Catherine. He's not going. Is that allowed? He's not going. Oh, Catherine. Hey. All right.
Mary got the reprieve.
Somewhere minutes.
So one of the things that was so welcoming in the beginning was the traditions.
that you enveloped people with at my very first Thanksgiving, and the tradition of coming to Thanksgiving for 21 years. And the tradition of getting little thoughts like the Christmas ornaments for everyone that they would have every year. And I've noticed that through the years you have this entirely large clan, and yet you're very aware of all the idiosyncrasies that we have. So, you know, the first year that we opened up the Christmas presents that were full of bunny rabbit things, I knew that somewhere you had figured out that we liked bunny rabbits. I don't want any more. They're on our fireplace because they mean something to us. And I think that that's what you do, is you find these little places that make a connection with each human being. And you touch them, either by giving something physical, by giving a thought, or like everyone has been talking about giving time. I remember when you tried awfully hard to talk to me about menopause, when I didn't want to. It was, but you were opening, and I wasn't interested, sorry. I was lucky, I had an easy one. But anyway, what I wanted to say was that when I was going through our wedding pictures, and so that's 21, this was reminding me of then when we went to Ireland. And I was looking at the pictures just to try and pull the ones, like I said, of you and Anna Connie and stuff, and you look ageless, Madeline. The rest of us have aged 21 years, but you look ageless. And so for the next 20 years, you will be the same. That picture will be pretty much the same. Yeah. So you have inside of yourself this young, giving spirit that feeds our souls. So thank you.
Whoa. Happy birthday! I knew you Never gets old, Max. Never gets old.
Were you there?
Who's up? Who's up? Nina.
Everyone has said everything. So,
let's see how horrible the moms you should say it.
Nina's going to say it.
Okay, I can say a quick one. I was not prepared at all, so bear with me. Well, I guess I'm one of the newest to the group, but I just, one of my favorite memories with you is watching Will's basketball game, where you and I, literally half the game, had to just talk about the guy with the headband in the hair. Mark kept looking at me, what are you and my mom talking about? Well, of course, the guy with the headband in the hair. We had this. I have never had more fun watching an athletic competition. It was so much fun. But all of you, I just want to say, I come from, I think I've said it before, a very small family. So to see all of you and be in this room and hear everything and feel the love, and it's just a remarkable thing. And I just thank all of you for welcoming me and giving me a chance to feel this. And you, as you're just wonderful. I've enjoyed every conversation we've had, and you should feel so happy and blessed with this group tonight. So, happy birthday.
In conclusion.
Yeah.
You think Will wants to leave?
And there's a band. Like no one else understands.
Hey, Mary.
Okay.
What?
Doctor, what did you want to say?
No, please, Mary.
What, doctor?
Yourself, you have the floor.
I so much. This is amazing, and it's all because of Mom and Dad. And there's so many themes tonight, and so it kind of has me jumbled up in what to say, because I feel like everybody's touched on all the wonderful, amazing things about Mom. Mom is our biggest supporter. She's our #1 fan, as all of you have said. And you feel that as a kid. And when I was in junior high, I've told Anna the story, when I was in junior high, I played flute, jazz flute. Good stuff. So I had a couple of times where I had a solo, and I stood up, I froze, stood in front of an entire audience, couldn't play. Sat back down. knew it was really bad when after the show everyone tells you how well you did. Well, every time after that, the parents would tell me that in the audience when I had a solo, it was my time and Nana's in the audience, and I would stand up and she would take a deep breath. She wouldn't let it out till I was done. And then she would let it out, and she'd be like, okay, great. And it's the things where all of you said, Nana is so happy when we're happy. And I also feel Dad, too. You know, I know Nana's always with me, but I also know Grandpa Bernie's always with me. I've told some people, but when Anna was born and I was in the hospital, I felt a pat on my back. And I was like, oh, wow, that's Dad. He's like saying, good job. And having all that love and support from Nana and Grandpa Bernie is just absolutely amazing, and we're all so, so lucky. And then I feel so especially lucky to have transitioned that mother-daughter relationship into also a friend relationship where you see all these funny photos, which is Nana just having fun. And as a kid, you start with Nana is fun, but she's really strict and kind of scary and kind of tough. And even
Very tough.
post-college, you know, if something kind of not so great was looking so good, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, Nana would say, it's going to be a disaster of gigantic proportions from which we will never recover. I'm like, all right, Mom, I really don't think so. And then over the years mellow out to the point where just last Friday, I go walking into the house and I'm like, oh, hey, Mom, how you doing? And I hear chirp, 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 chirp. I'm like, Mom, is that a cricket in the kitchen? She's like, yeah, whatever. I have bigger problems than that. Completely and utterly mellowed out, but just so much fun. And all my friends, Betsy included, when Nana is around, all my friends always say, your mom is so great. I'm just saying, Mary, I don't care if you're around, but can your mom come and hang out with us? So I'm just so grateful every day for you and for Dad's love and for all of you. I really just am so lucky. I think we're all so lucky and so grateful to have all this love and support, what Michael talked about too. So I'm just so happy you all could be here. I'm so happy we can honor the Queen Mom in all her silliness. That New York photo, Mom's Statue of Liberty, that is, I thought she might have killed us on that one, but you know, it happens. And the Maddie and her, the Wildcat is fantastic. And then in P-Town, where Mom just said, you know, I said, Mom, we need a photo, you know, it's a drag queen. And the drag queen said, excuse me if we're taking a photo, hand on your hip and legs out, ladies. And Mom's like, oh yeah, legs out. So it's fun all the time, it's love all the time, and I just want to thank you for everything that you do for us every day. Happy birthday!
Before we go, maybe dessert.
I'd like
Dessert.
This is unbelievable, hearing all of you and all the love that is coming back to me. And you're all absolutely right. Dad is always with me. He just is, you know. And I think you guys know in almost 29 years I've never could even look at another person because nobody could ever come up with him. So he definitely is with me. Oh my goodness.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Happy birthday, dear Nana.
Cha-cha-cha.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday!
in Eastham when Uncle Michael was there on birthday, they told everybody to grab a window and sing that.
Yeah, sure.
That was in East
I think like the house on fire.
That was in East Ham.
What I wanted to say again was that all the love you've given back to me and Dad, I give back to you a millionfold. Because I feel it, and that's the love that's coming towards you. And, you know, I have more love from you. Remember, I always have more.
Told you she was competitive.
I have more love than all of you combined. And my heart's just swelled with love tonight. Thank you all so very much for being here and all the wonderful things you've said. I love you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to tell one story about generosity. Plants, not just generosity. Okay. I want to talk about modeling Plansky family generosity. When anybody in the room 19 or like close to 19? Like if you were studying in England and your dad called up and said, "Oh, by the way, like I'm going to be in Ireland. Do you want to come over and go fishing?" Would you go like, "That's kind of a coincidence. How strange." Or would you go, "Oh, of course, he's coming to visit me." It's like, I was kind of like, "That's a coincidence. How strange. Y'all come on over." So this little tiny pub in the middle of Ireland, which is kind of like Worcester. Hypothetical. You're not supposed to answer.
So it's kind of like Worcester. It's kind of like you're right in the middle.
Worcester.
And it's called the Angler's Rest, and it's right on the River Shannon. And we're gonna go out fishing for pike the next morning. And this guy named Davey, who's the guide, comes up. And he says, "Is it ye I'm taking out tomorrow?" It's like, no way. He just said ye. And Dad caught this pike that was a monster on a Johnson silver minnow.
Love him.
And those guys are like, "What's that? We've never seen that before." As soon as he brought his own. As soon as we came into the pub, as many people here said, "Okay, how much for the fish? How much does it weigh?" And the entire place just started laying down 5, 10-pound notes on like how much the fish weighed. And everybody, including myself and Dad, wagered it. And guess who won? Who won the wager?
Yeah.
He won.
So you waited ahead of time.
And the entire pub,
Caught the darn thing.
the entire pub just went like this. The entire room went, "Oh." And what did he do? Like, what did he do? And I just like watched
everybody
this.
a drink and
He
ice.
said, "Drinks for everybody." It was like, that was like Plansky generosity. That was like Plansky hospitality. That was Plansky hosting. That was Plansky kingship and queenship. Like, we know how as Planskys to host. We know how to take care of our guests in any room that we are in. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday! And on that note,
It doesn't get old.
final.
Like I'm running out of stories.
The apple tree story. The apple has not fallen off the tree. I know he doesn't want me to do this, but it's right there. Uncle John, your generosity tonight is unbelievable. Thank you for all this.
Yay!
Happy birthday!
There's 7 arrangements, so we want each of the brothers and sisters to take one home with them. There's also 2 big arrangements, and those are going to you now.
Yay! Anna wins.
What was that?
I'll take the posters.
No, that's for me. Okay.
There's one in a frame. One in a frame.
I'm not asking.
bigger one.
And Mom, we're gonna hang that one down in the kitchen, so it just
Yes.
suspends over the table.
We're actually gonna hang it with those two balloons and just let it float.
That picture, Nana likes that picture. Do you take that picture?
That's up to John.
Off the back.
Yeah, that's it, that's all you got?
Fly up.
With mom, these boys really, you know, Mark's talking about mom, you know, yelling at him or whatever, and the boys would think they were strong. And mom would be like, you think you have guns? And she'd like flex her muscle, feel this. And then you guys would feel it, and you're like, oh, okay. And then any pain threshold Nana can take, right? Physical pain?
By far.
By far. When we were little, I don't know, Mark remembers being John probably, but I don't know why she would ask one of us to help her move a mattress from the upstairs at 70 Old Nahant Road to
What,
the
is it my fault, Mom, was it me?
So he was 4.
Was
So
I-
you helped? You asked a 3-year-old to do that?
Was it me in the top or Mary? All right, hold on, I'll tell the story then. So Katie, I'm 4 years old, right? So I'm like, I don't know, 2 inches taller than Mike. Max, was that out loud? Oh, that's wrong. Terrible. Nana says, I'll take the bottom of the mattress going down the steps in 70 on the High Road.
Walking backwards.
Walking backwards, so I'm 4 years old, like, I got no problem. First step, let go. Nana goes sliding down the steps. The mattress is leading her down like a toboggan. Hits the wall at the bottom. Boom! Mattress. I'm like, oh no! I freeze. You look down. Are you okay? And Nana goes, don't do that again. It's like, wow, it is true. That's a true story.
It is true.
Okay. Okay. You got some more props?
More props?
What's going on? No props, no props. Oh, okay, good. So I have been very privileged to be surrounded by very brilliant, very tough women in my life. So my mother is nails. I mean, nail stuff. And that's where I learned my toughness from my mother. My dad was a Marine, but Mom taught me toughness. That's how it goes, right? However, then there's Madeline. So we're living the halcyon, suburban life in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and Madeline comes to visit, and she arrives in the driveway and walks up the steps, and we're so excited to see we have the kids around us. Our step up from the stoop into the house is slightly, maybe 2 inches above standard. And yeah, Max knows what's coming. And Madeline very recently had a hip replaced, or an ear replaced, or a back fuse.
Not the hip?
Another hip, perhaps, this is all of which are a testament to toughness. But don't you know, the door opens. Hey, we're so happy to see you. Welcome to Rhode Island. And she catches a toe as she's coming up, and wham! Down she goes. And this is like, all of us like, oh my God. Somebody call 911. And I kid you not, the following happened. Madeline rolled over, started dragging herself into the house with some pretty powerful triceps, I have to say. Just big smile on her face, like, I'm fine. Everything's okay.
Hey kids! How's it going?
And pardon the profanity, because it's the only profanity this night, because when she fell, I went, holy shit! And then when she started pulling herself across the floor, I went, holy shit! Tough as nails.
Happy birthday!
Oh, we're at the cake. Oh dear. Anna's an infant. I'm on maternity leave at the Cape. And she was a little fussy. And I'm on the phone with Carol Ann, And all of a sudden, I hear this high-pitched, weird noise that I didn't even know what it was. But it wasn't like a scream, it wasn't like that, but it was just this noise. And I go into the family room, and I see Mom on the floor, and I'm like, what happened? Nothing. I'm like, what happened, Mom? She goes, I don't know. And I'm looking, one hip's over there, the other hip's over there. I'm like, you dislocated your hip. Maybe.
Just let me lay here for a minute.
Just give me a moment. I'm like, a moment? I need to call 911. I am your mother. You are not calling 911 right now. You give me a moment. I was like, but your hip is over here. Your leg's over there. And then finally, I did call. I was like, I'm going against her. I know she was going to hospital. No tears, no nothing. She was just like, and the guys that came with the ambulance were just like, what's going on? She should need morphine or something. I'm like, I know. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, then they came in and the guys were like looking, there was a sunset and Mom was like, hurry up.
Remember the doctor?
The doctor too.
So that was back when I wasn't with Brianna, so I was already at the hospital because of what I used to deal with. So Mary called me. And she's like, Nan's on my hospital. I'm here. Where'd you get her? So she shows up, and the doctor who I'd seen before. Yeah, because I think I was getting one of my things plastered in the back, and goes see the doctor. The doctor comes in and goes, okay, takes everybody, all right, your hip's dislocated. Here's the deal. Sometimes I can loosen up just a little bit, shoot a little up, and then pull slightly and pop it right back in. Most people have most doctors, it's about a 75% chance they'll get it right. Under his breath, he turns and goes, I run about 95. And he goes, okay, boom, done. But the best part is like, oh, about 95. Most other doctors 70, I'm 95.
Right down.
Son of a gun.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like,
Margo.
Awesome, great, I'm here.
Happy birthday! Mom, I want to go on record. Uncle Michael O'Neill was the only one that cursed tonight.
I
just
did.
saying.
I do.
Actually,
you can't fix that.
Andy started.
So now I guess we know where it comes from.
Sucks doesn't count as a curse. No, that's not true.
It's a
That was a
gateway.
direct quote.
Right.
He said,
Andrew
doesn't
just
count.
said, no, that's wrong. That's a quote from there.
I have to say, it was
I don't think
it was
it is.
an honest
I don't
account.
know way
It wasn't.
I'm pretty sure.
That's
there's
how
no
he
way
interprets
it
it.
is.
Unless she was talking about Trump.
Oh,
What she really said was, what are you crying for? You were great. These guys were terrible. You would have lost by more if it wasn't for you. All the parents are listening. Oh, yeah. Right next to him, she's like, all of their, they were all, especially that kid.
Right.
Your child was
The Nana whisper. I love the Nana stage whisper.
Doctor! So, I was doing a course in Boston, and I was staying with Nana, and if I missed a day, I'd have to do a video, makeup, book report. It's one of those horrible type of courses, and Nana said, can I ask you a question? I said, sure, Nana, as I'm walking out the door. The left side of my body's been numb for 2 weeks. Oh, we didn't have cell phones at that time. Coinbox, John, can you take like Nana to the hospital? And John did. And then I called during the break of the course, and I talked to the doctor. He said, "Well, we're taking care of your mother, and we think we hear a little blockage in her artery." Keyword: we think. And so we're going to send her home with an ultrasound to get like next week. It's like, what? No. And then the next break, call up Mom's family doctor and say, so then the next break, it's like, Coinbox, by the way, feeding quarters in. And Mom's doctor said, well, we could admit her to the hospital if you want us to. It's like, this is a clown show. And so Nana Plansky Grandpa Plansky's mother, she actually had sent a family tree, and on the family tree was Dr. John O'Sullivan, who's a neurologist in Rochester, of the O'Sullivan clan, who's one of our relations. He always denied it, but he was wonderful.
For all the obvious reasons.
So I called up Dr. O'Sullivan. I said, Dr. O'Sullivan, Mike, he goes, oh, well, now, boss, you need to get her to the Mass General. He was from County Kerry. Get her to the Mass General. So I'm in the coin box yet again, and I'm talking to Mass General Emergency, and then all of a sudden in Winchester Hospital, the emergency doctor says, what's happening? My patient is being transferred to Mass General. Someone's organizing the transfer, like from a coin box. And so Mom gets to Mass General, and who is the woman neurologist? Do you remember her name?
I remember Mary was waiting for me. because
Oh yeah, I was waiting. Mom was transferred by an ambulance, and she comes out the thing. She's like, "Hey,
hi!" Like, what's going on? Sunday, so nobody was. So you get.
Great service.
So what happened was, as Mom told the story, the Massachusetts General neurologist came and sat down next to her at 2 in the morning and said, Mrs. Plansky, this is your problem. This is what you have. No testing, no nothing. And of course she was right. And I called up Dr. O'Sullivan. I said, Dr. O'Sullivan, this neurologist at Mass General diagnosed Mom with, with what she's got, and they didn't do any tests. I said, well, no, boss. When you're in the rarefied atmosphere of Boston, as a doctor, you just know. But when you're west of the Berkshires, you still have to examine it.
That's funny. That's funny. That is really funny.
And they just know.
And Mike, by the way, Mike,